This daf Yom Yerushalmi Shabbos in the art scroll of the Vahada edition. We're at the top of Hamid Aleph, which in the Vilna is on Daled Amid Aleph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines from the bottom. I'm going to learn this so you like to read Baz. Person standing inside the house and his hand is full of fruits. Pashal chutz, he's standing outside. He's standing before Shabbos began, and after the leg standing outside, and when Shabbos began, it was outside in the Rishus HaRabim. Also, he is now allowed to take it back. He has to leave it there for all of Shabbos. It's also the Bavli. Rabbi Yaakov B'Shem Rabbi Boaz said, "Command the Mar Osu Shtamish B'Avir Asara." Now, Boaz explains, this is according to the opinion that holds that even above 10 tefachim, because you assume the hand is more than 10 tefachim above the ground. So even above 10 from the ground of Rishus HaRabim is Rishus HaRabim, not like the Bavli, which never entertains such a Havamina. The Bavli always holds that above 10 tefachim on the ground is Carmelis. He's saying that it's above 10 tefachim, and it's going to be like Osu Shtamish B'Avir Asara, the airspace above Rishus HaRabim. It's just right, that's why you can't bring the hand back to the house. Istani Tani Mutter. They say there's those who say you can bring your hand back into the house. So have a boy Meimar Manamar Mutter B'Sheyeshem Rocha Barba. Now, the Gilad Ephraim changes this B'Sheyesh to B'Shein, and the next the B'Shein in a few more words to B'Sheyesh, which works out better. But I'm going to go with like I said, with Baz, who keeps the Girsa as is. It's the opinion which holds that it's mutter is when there's a place to put his hand down above 10 tefachim, which has 4 by 4 and 4 by 4 tefachim, and therefore that place is a karmelis. So since that place is a karmelis, so therefore Chazal allowed him to go back in from that karmelis back into his house. He says also it's where there is no place of 4 by 4 tefachim in the airspace. Therefore, the airspace remains the airspace of Rishus HaRabim, and therefore he can't take his hand back to the house. They're both going according to the opinion that you're above 10 tefachim is still considered Rishus HaRabim. My kadun, but what's the conclusion? In fact, that's not the case. And now we come to a conclusion which is the same as the Bavli. He holds it's also to bring your hand back. It's in fact where it's below 10 tefachim from the ground, because within 10 tefachim of the ground, Rishus HaRabim is Rishus HaRabim. Madamar Mutter, he says you're allowed to extend your hand back in the house. That's going like when your hand is above 10 tefachim, and above 10 tefachim over Rishus HaRabim is a karmelis, and therefore you're allowed to take your hand back into your house. Okay, so now we have a quote from the Mishnah. Ani chayv or ba'bayis potter. The ani is liable, and the ba'bayis is exempt. Obviously, ani is doing the entire malacha. Hiddur Shem Shmuel said, "V'hu shetei yodo she'ani b'toch asar lakarka." This is it's where when the hand of the ani is within 10 tefachim of the ground, as Korban 8 explains. So above the if it's above 10 tefachim, it's not of the ground. It's not like on the ground. Therefore, it's not as if it's just right. Therefore, the malacha of otzo is never complete. Also, the ani has to stay more than 4 tefachim away from the wall. If he's not more than 4 tefachim away from the wall, karmelis, he is considered to be a karmelis. And the Baz brings down, of course, we had the sheet of the Yerushalmi before, that a person who's standing within 4 tefachim of wall makes that area between himself and the wall a karmelis. The Baz says, I'm going to read from the Baz inside. Even though we hold that somebody who takes out for Rishus HaRabim to Rishus Yochid through a karmelis is also chayv. Zeno, this is implied here. Our mission says that you took from inside the house and took out into Rishus HaRabim is chayv. Mashu techavu miyad. Sounds like immediately shows you when you take out your chayiv. The kasha lo apiku rak mishus yachid karmas. What do you mean? You only want to just to karmas only if it's miyad. According to my Rocha goes to Arba, so let's talk about where is the 1/4 away from the wall. Now the Gemara goes on. It says, "Rabbi Lezer Shem Rabbi Shimon Karstok Shu Padav Afuchas Lepatya." I'm reading from the Ritbaz again. Rabbi Shu Padav Afuchas Lepatya. So when his face is turned around, stand backwards, right? So he's facing the plaza to Shusarabim. So the other Maida Koso love a Carmelis. He's not going to put of Klape Akoso. Only when he's facing the wall. I was trying to Klape Platya, but it's facing the Shusarabim love a Carmelis. So he learns a Mishnah in a different manner. The only Mark, I mean, Arba Amos Lokoisel. Arba Amos. That's a typo on the red bars. Red bars. Supposed to tell. Down fucking. Okay. Let's fix that. Down fucking the question. Concon lobby cameras and let's not a camera in the Mark Shava upon a clappy a platio. Because he turns his face towards the platio. Olam Ome Biyada Veliba Olam Ome Biyada Veliba connected a Kaiso, Boats Biyada Lefonov, Rakshaponov Levad Hoviklab Sarabim. So but really it's not he's standing with his hands and face opposite towards the wall, and he was motzi with his hands in front of him, but his face is towards Shusarabim. Libo connected a platya, so he's facing with his face to the heart towards the platya. But the klape koisel have a karmus. Why? The ikar azlina besar pichas bani. Everything goes after which way he's facing. I guess that's whatever way he's facing determines what is considered to be his primary orientation, whether it's constituting a wall or not constituting a wall. So that's what it says here. Getting back to Gemara, Rabbi Lezer Shem Rishon Karsok should put up Platya, his face. And his face is towards the wall, so then it's a karmelis. Okay, the Ritbaz goes on, but I don't think the rest of it we have to see for now. So let's go on. Rav Chisda b'shem Rav Ashi said, and of course there's a very big chiddush in the Yerushalmi. We should mention that, not just gloss over it. That this is a whole concept of his face towards the wall, face away from the wall, determining whether he is a wall, and therefore they're making a karmelis between himself and the wall of the house. It is a very remarkable chiddush. Okay, so says more further. Rav Chisda b'shem Rav Ashi. Obviously, it's not Rav Ashi, whoever it was. Probably somebody changed the girsa. The scholar changed it to Asi. Chisda b'shem Asi. The Kana knows it's just a rabbin. You have a stick stuck into just a rabbin. Gabah Sarat Tvachim, which is 10 Tvachim high. Hamishtav Shtochel is just a rabbin. Mishus a rabbin. L'toicho Chayev. So if somebody uses it to go from Itoshus Yochid or for Itoshus Rabim to Spanish Rabim or vice versa. So then he is Chayev. So he doesn't mention any shear of the width of the stick, but the Korban Eda says Rosha Dover Rachav Arba. At the top of the stick, there has to be a platform which is 4x4 tvachim, because you can't have a Shus Yochid unless it's 4x4 tvachim. Rav Amar Tarkus Shumei Shus Rav. It's a type of box, says Korban Eda. Same Shus Rav Gavoa Asar tvachim. There's 10 tvachim high. V'Rachav Arba and 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim wide. Hamishtav Shul Shus Rav Mishus Rav Tochel Chayev. So the people probably don't always realize that, but you have a mailbox or something which is 4x4 tvachim in Rishus Rabim, so that is considered Rishus Yochanan on top of it. Tan Rabbi Yoshim Menorah Shem Rishus Rabim. If you have a is that menorah or megura? I think it's a menorah. Hard to read in the Vilna. Yes, a menorah. Shimenor b'shemesh sh'sragva asara upircha rabba, and it extends 4 tvachim. Havshai tov l'shusrayim shusrayim tocha chayiv. Amray Manor said Losov Davar menorah, not just a menorah, El Afilu Koner b'shusrayim gava asara tvachim, even a stick in which is rabim, which is 10 tvachim high. The tavlin b'roisha, and there is a tablet on its top, which is 4 by 4 tvachim. Hamashayim shtocha shusrayim shusrayim tocha chayiv. Now, I know above 10 tvachim is another rishus. And the top of all these things, as you just said, is rishus yochid. Shimon Logan said, I'm going to meet with you there. Because Baruch says to Moshe Rabbeinu, Yivarech al kaporos asher al aron ayidus mi ben shekun. Let's meet you on the top of the kaporos, which is from the top of the kaporos, which is on the aron from between the 2 kruvim. We said, Kimina Shamayim dibarti imachem. I spoke to you from Shamayim, because Baruch Hu always speaks from Shamayim. And just like that Dibur, which is by Har Sinai, was for another Rishus, of Dibur Shnei Markan, so too the Dibur, which is stated by the Mishnah, Rishus Acheres, is from another Rishus. Therefore, above the Aron must see a different Rishus. V'aron lo teisha tvachim. So the Gemara says, well, fine. So 9 tvachim. Shiva shuskus Aron was 9 tvachim high. The Beis Rabbi Yana Amr kaparas tefach. Kaparas was a tefach. So it's not a tefach, therefore 10 tvachim. Rabbi Zira says, minayin the kaparas tefach. How many kaparas tefach? It says the Mr. Shas, this is a parallel sukkah to Sukkot Afhei. Tan Rabbi Chananya Bar Shmuel, Kol Kem Shuba Mikdash, all that came in the base of Mikdash, Nosna Satorah Mida, or Midas Orko V'Rachvo, Nosna Shir Kumasa, the Torah gave the extent of its length and its width and its height. Chutzei Kaparas, except for the Kaparas, Nosna Torah Midas Orko V'Rachvo, the Torah gave the width, the length and the width. Nosna Shir Kumasa, and we don't know how high it was. We learn out the principle of tafasta meruba, the tafasta. We learn from the minimum parallel. Learn from the kli katan shemikdash. Vasislam is ger tavach saviv. That means the shulchan had a framework of a tefach. Makan tefach, afkan tefach. So we learn out tefach. Oh, ain't no ella vasisus mamemotzino. Obviously not Yerushalmi. Oh, ain't ella vasisus zerzal miskarto saviv. Well, let's learn from Zer, which is also part of the Shulchan. Ma kan afko ma one of the case based on Mikdash. Ma kan Bakan koshu is there has no shear. Afkan koshu, so the kapara says no shear. So, how do we make it though? What is our conclusion? How do we learn it out? We have the option of a zer, which is no shear. How do we learn from his geras? Right? It says Pnei HaKaporos. Pnei Paras Mitafach. Pnei face is no less than the size of a tefach. So therefore, it is the size of a tefach. Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yossi asked, how is the kapor? How is the this is the this is a it appears if I recall correctly several times in the Yerushalmi this issue. You have a closet in a house. Gvor kama, it can be very large. Can you not take something from the closet into the house and something from the house into the closet? So the Aron was inside the Kodesh Kodashim. It wasn't a shut unto itself. So if you're going to say it was a shut unto itself, so learn to be chiddush. That's like from a closet to the room, or from the room to the closet should be considered being a shut for shut and should be aser. So we're talking about when it was when they put the Aron in Rishus Harabim. The Korban says when they came to rest after a trip in the Midbar, so they put down the Aron. They first put down the Aron before they put down anything else, and before they constructed the Mishkan in that place. And the reason why they put down first Shem Rabbeinu was the Ruchos used serves kind of a compass. They used to square the directions. Shemida Aron Tchila v'apinei Shemida Satzon neged Mizrach Ha'olam. And miraculously, he put himself opposite the east of the world, and they put the Mishkan around it. But corresponding to the directions of the world, which was just pointed out to them by the direction of the Aron. So I wrote on the side of the Gemara that the Pnei Moshe is Tzarech Yun Gadol. So I guess we should see what the Pnei Moshe says. He says, "Klomar el blavach ein lam yomara kosav hazeh al pnei kaporas klum. Lav lam de midas komas kaporas. Lav de midas komas kaporas kvats. No, you do the kaporas. No, you do the Aron. You should see lakach midam hapor. V'zah betzwa pnei kaporas came of it. Pnei kaporas yazer shem pomim." Says you should take from the blood of the and sprinkle on kapora before the kapora 7 times. Loros beinyan hazos mirabu haruchos hu ba, and it comes to show us the hazos from the squareness of this directions. Shemizeh achas lamala, you sprinkle 1 on top. Zel pnei kaporas kedma v'shev lamata, and 7 below. Confresh masis the olive. Do you want kamatzliv? I have no idea what Yataki is talking about. I don't know. And I wrote Tzarech Yun Gadol, but he says that you're right. Shalosh Ma'aberes and Ruchos has something to do with the sprinkling of the blood up and down. I wonder if the article actually brings down this Pnei Moshe. It does not. So therefore, we will not attempt to understand Pnei Moshe. Okay. Says more further. So the 10 Fachim derivation from Aron makes sense according to Pnei holds it. But the Kalim Beis Hamikdash were built according to the Am of six Fachim. So Amav Chetzi Amav Chetzi Komaso is 9 Fachim, right? But on command Amar Chamisha, we're going to opinion that the Kalim Beis Hamikdash were built with a Amma of 5 Tvachim. Aron Lav Shiva Tvachim Mechzu, the Aron was only 7.5 Tvachim high. Rabbi Yaakov Amar Deveis Rabbi Yanim Rishim Yotzadok Chad Yolich Min Aron. So one of them tackled into the Aron, which according to the opinion that was Amma Shabbat Shisha, and the other learned 10 Tvachim Chadayol Lamin Agolos. And the other learns out from the Agolos. The wagons of Levim. Besides Beis Yamei of the Aron, makes sense for the house of Biyah, he learns it from the Aron. Beis Yamei means Kaporas Tefach. The Beis Yamei was one who specifically stated that the Kaporas Tefach, and it must be that because it was allowed 10 Fachim from the Aron. Shimi Yitzchak Lelif mean Hagos. So Shimi Yitzchak lives out there from Hagos. Zir boy minas. Rabbi Zir boy. Minala Hagos showing Gavos Asara. How do you know that Hagos are 10 Fachim high? Now, obviously, it has to be Lachal Moshe Misinai. There's no source in the Torah itself. But, yes, how do we know it? But Rabbi Yossi interrupts. He says, you know what? Even if you know it, I mean, if you take my sorry, even though let's say assume it's Lachal Moshe Misinai. Okay, but the Maisa, I still have a problem learning from the Agolos. Below time, Rabbi Chivi teaches Sab. It says Eglos Sab. They're like turtles. They're like covered wagons. So so if they're covered wagons, maybe I'm going like to pay motion read Baz here. Maybe only a 10 Tefachim high platform which is covered, which is surrounded by Rishus Rabim is Rishus Yachid. I know that 10 Tefachim high platform which is uncovered is still considered to be a Rishus Yachid when it's surrounded by Rishus Rabim. And it says the Gemara, Ilu Chor Rishus Rabim Gavoa Asara Bracha Barba. If you have a hole in Rishus Harabim, like whatever it is, a cave, some sort of other hole in Rishus Harabim, which is 10 tefachim high, and Rocha Barba and 4 tefachim, Shema Ein Os L'Shtamish Tochel Rishus Harabim L'Tochel. It's also to transfer Rishus Harabim into it, and Rishus Harabim from it into Rishus Harabim. Whether the Ritbaz puts it as maybe he'll say Chorei Rishus Harabim Rishus Harabim, that the whole Rishus Harabim is like Rishus Harabim. It's not. Right, it's a whole Rishus Harabim, which is meets the parameters of Rishus Yochid of 10 tefachim by 4 by 4 tefachim, is Rishus Yochid. So maybe only this covered wagon is considered to be Rishus Yochid when it's surrounded by Rishus Harabim. How do we know that? An open platform, which is 10 tefachim high, Rishus Harabim. So it's Rishus Yochid. I'm sorry. So even when it's surrounded by Rishus Harabim. So what it says, I'll tell you. El b'shoshim mishmoshitin esra kroshim izulazu trotusayu. When they wouldn't extend the beams from wagon to wagon or from the wagon outside when they were covered. They would do that when the wagons were uncovered. In other words, they would remove the awning, whatever the covering was, and that's when they would move it. So then, if we're learning the derivation of the Isser Botzah is from the Agolos, that Isser Botzah of which is performed with Agolos was performed when Melacha, I should say, that was Agolos, which would be the base of it. Isser Botzah was done when the platforms were uncovered, when the wagons are uncovered, and therefore we can derive the 10 tefachim, since we have Masorah, there are 10 tefachim from there to elsewhere, and any platform which is 10 tefachim by 4 by 4 tefachim in Rishus Harabim, even if it's uncovered, is considered to be Rishus Yachid.